defenders for Washington's head.
Nebraska hitting 184, Washington hitting 333 so far in this match. Nice dig out of the middle of the court. Jones. And Rolson. Was it touched? No. Point is going to go. Yes, it was. Excuse me. Point goes down to the Huskers. There seemed to be some confusion over what happened here. And yeah, you can see it was touched. Van Sant was one of the judges, not the other. 4-3 Nebraska leads. Seveldin gets the side out for the Huskies.
Super important for Washington to establish their middle. Leanna Seveldin can be very effective. She plays a very high game. She's quick. That really helps spread the offense for Washington.
Star Krista Van Sant with the serve. Haggerty terminates from the right side.
Megan Haggerty has been hard to stop. She goes off one foot, hitting behind the setter. She's hitting outside the block, beating Cassie Strickland on deep.
Tight set here in set number 2. Float serve there. That goes way out. Scambray missing. Went high, no one touched it.
Freshman Tia Scambray going for high hands. Tried to get that middle block, his hands missed.
Sant keeping it alive. Jones up to the scoreboard and comes down. You can play it. It comes down on your side. They do. It goes out of bounds. Nebraska's saying, I think that Jones may have touched that when it came down.
Wow, Chrissy Jones was going to hit that ball. Tried to get out of the way, and I believe it hit her leg.
Let's see. That was the one that went off the scoreboard. She got out of the way and it grazed her shoulder, which was out of bounds. So it gives Huskers the point. And Nebraska a little bit of a run here, 5-1.
Megan Haggerty, one of the best blockers on this Nebraska team in the middle. Good hand position, turns that ball back into the court. Good team.
There is Katie ready to serve. Amber is her sister, number 5. They're number 5 and 6. And Seveldin terminates. Good timeout by Jem McLaughlin is right away. Nebraska loses the point. Side out Washington.
Good job by Washington running the middle. Leanna Seveldin could be such an offensive weapon if they use her correctly.
Scambray has it blocked. Scambray tries again. Good dig in the back row by Townsend. Morgan D. Strickland keeps it live. Scambray off speed. I think there was a touch into the net. Nebraska was into the net, so the point goes to Washington. Let's see it.
I actually think it was the other side of the net. I believe it was Melanie Wade. On the bottom of the tape.
Call goes against Nebraska, though. Strickland crushes it. Missed! By Wade.
That's the second time Washington's missed an overdig or overpass. Very uncharacteristic of this Washington team. Starts with a great pass by Cassie Strickland, the Pac-12 Libero of the Year. Pass is so important to running your offense.
regional final set in Louisville, Wisconsin, and Penn State. Both advancing as the higher seeds. Sorry, Holly, Penn State beating UCLA. Well, UCLA did a good job to get to that point.
Penn State is tough. They've got lots of weapons. They're one of my favorites to win it all.
A lot of people are saying that match is the equivalent of a national semifinal. Those two programs, Wisconsin and Penn State. That's to get to the semifinal. Another point picked up from that left side by Rolfson.
Katie Rolfson, 2 big kills for Nebraska back-to-back.
Regionals because of the proximity on the West Coast. So we have the fortune of seeing all the scores come in out here. Good off speed. Nice dig. And Rolfson tools the block. Again, another kill on that left side for Katie Rolfson.
Credit the libero, Justine Wong-Arantes for Nebraska, keeping the ball alive, digging Krista Manzan a couple times. And then Rolfson with the kill on the left side.
Justine Wong-Arantes back to serve. Cypress, California. And that looked like an angry swing by Sebelden as she gets the side out for Washington. You mentioned Penn State, Holly. Boy, Penn State is the premier program in women's college volleyball over the last 10 years. Look at those 4 titles in a row from 2007 to 2010. Then last year, a surprise title, winning that.
I learned a big lesson.
Yeah,
never count Penn State out. And I saw them this preseason. They had 3 freshmen starting. One was injured. Haley Washington wasn't even playing. I mean, I just think they're amazing. And back-to-back every year, they're there pushing for the title.
They've gotten better and better as this season has progressed. And that's not an overstatement. It's the absolute truth of them. Wisconsin, though, stands in the way. Point to Nebraska. Nebraska's really turned it around this set.
They certainly are, and they're controlling the dig better and running an offense. That's something they're doing better than Washington.
Route to the title. And it's not going to happen this year, even if Washington were to win it, as they dropped a set to Hawaii last weekend. Nebraska threatening to win a set here tonight, as the Huskers now with an 8-point lead. The hitting percentage has dramatically shifted in this match.
Well, in the second set, Washington's hitting .077. Nebraska hitting .435.
It's a 9-3 run ended there by Washington, as the Huskers have now won 9 of the last 13 points.
Washington, on average, hits about .314 compared to Nebraska's .236. So Nebraska way above their average, Washington way below.
Haggerty reaches up and somehow brings that one back down into the court.
Megan Haggerty and Cecilia Hall in the middle for Nebraska have been fantastic. And credit Mary Polly Miller, for setting a good offense out of the middle.
Katie Rolfson serving. Too much on it. Point to Washington. Another service error for Nebraska.
Haggerty's 3 for 5, hitting 600. Hall 7 for 7, hitting 1,000 out of the middle for Nebraska.
Strickland back to serve, just who Washington would like to see back there. Serve it right at Townsend. Point to Washington. Double contact.
Well, that's the benefit. Because Cassie Strickland just bombs her serve, there's lots of top spin, and then lots of spin comes off the pass. Sometimes hard for the setter to handle like that last ball.
See how quiet it is here. 7,000 people here, and it was worth getting quiet as Strickland delivers with an ace.
Cassie Strickland so aggressive, bombing that ball, enough top spin to get that ball to come down and drop on the back line for Washington.
Nebraska, as the Huskers are closing in on tying this match at a set apiece before intermission.
This time the setter, Mary Paula Miller, tooling the block for a kill. Rare when she gets that opportunity.
And the Huskers keep piling it on.
Nebraska playing very solid defense, keeping it alive, and then able to get kills in transition.
Schwann in for the Huskies. Perfect. Couldn't have walked it over there any better. And my apologies, that's not Ralston, that's Kelsey Fiend. She snuck in there on that left side.
Kelsey Fiend, wow, look at this dig to keep it alive. Fiend, and then at the end, she gets the kill to the corner for Nebraska.
23-14, Nebraska has just poured it on. It is set point now as the Huskers have come back strong after dropping the opening set 25-20.
Cecilia Hall, 8 for 8 out of the middle for Nebraska.
They have hit over 500 this set. Block for Washington to keep the Huskies alive for now.
But I'll tell you, Nebraska has a lot of set points and the advantage and all the momentum in this second set.
Heads up play by Van Sant. Schwann hits it long, and Nebraska has just tied this match up. If the call sticks, wait a minute. We may have a reverse call.
Let's take a look again. Courtney Schwann swings deep.
And the back judge calls it in, and the up judge changes the call. So the point goes to Washington, but the set point remains for Nebraska. Another point for the Huskies.
Huskies putting some pressure on Nebraska, but I'll tell you, 24-17, Nebraska has too many set points, in my opinion, for Washington to be able to come back.
Let's see. Best to try to make this interesting, but the law of averages would agree with you, Holly. However, Nebraska wants a timeout.
Lots of close line calls so far today. We've seen about 4 or 5 that are just could be in, could be out. This time the triple block there for Washington, and then a lift on the cover play by Nebraska.
4 set points have been saved. There's the latest.
Definitely a lift on that one. Washington hitting in this